It takes a little time
Oh, yeah.
to test something that you have in your mind that you would like to develop and make it unique and special, not like everybody else has, you know.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number. Hello, hello, Let's Bloom Babes. Welcome back to another episode of Petunias podcast. I'm Liv, owner of Petunias Planning, and currently a bride to be myself. Today we're sitting down with someone extra special. This is Miss Nancy Owens. She's also my fiance's nana, but she owns Brushstrokes by Nancy. She does lots of artwork. She can do anything from A to Z, but we have her here to focus on her bridal little attributes that she offers. So, how are you today? What
I'm
have you been up
good.
to?
Good. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful day. I'm thankful.
It is. We spent the whole day together yesterday for Easter, so I feel like we've already had our catch up. Okay, so let's just introduce yourself a little bit. Like, what do you do? What's your personal life like?
Well, first of all, I guess I've always enjoyed dabbling in art, but it was blessing the lives of children, and the art was a way to allow them to express themselves individually and feel that they could do something that was kind of express their heart and their how they saw life in general. So that always excited me, especially if parents had a keepsake box or some way to treasure it. So I did childcare for 40 something years, and at 74 almost, I decided it was time to retire. I have an older husband that's 8 years older than I am and needed some care, and the childcare that I had, the I had started originally in my home, then went to a church facility that I had 58 children and 9 employees. And then when I closed that after 30 something years, I opened up again back in my home, in my backyard. And so it was a little intrusive with parents coming and going. And we averaged about 23 kids. So I decided to quit just with some heartaches and pulls on my strings on my heart. But thought I had to find something to do. So I just went back to creating something that I could make some money, some spending money for myself, and just help, the last of the bills for the household.
Mm-hmm. So when you were doing the daycare, were you making art for other people?
No, it was just creativity
Yeah,
for
just for yourself.
children.
Yeah. What do you remember what you made for the first time that made you think like, oh, I could sell this?
Well, I had quit childcare in my home because my husband's uh, job had gone to afternoon, so it was kind of intrusive. Parents coming in and out, and interruptive of his sleep, and went into a wholesale business. So I did wholesale art for about 5 or 6 years. I started just doing some flea markets and craft shows with a friend, and uh, it just got to be I wanted more from it than she was willing to contribute to it. So I went into a wholesale business that I did markets in Washington D.C. and Pennsylvania and Chicago, and got some really good contacts. But then when some of them, like Guild House and different ones, went belly up, I just decided I was shipping out like $1,000 a day, and I just couldn't risk that kind of money not coming back. So went back into childcare because I had a dear friend, and there was such a need in our community. So I've always dabbled in art. Um, I think my strive probably was more for making money than creative, because I've always enjoyed feeling like I was um, self-sufficient and contributing back to the household. Um, but now it's more for creative. Just I've got to find something that I can do that doesn't take me away from the home necessarily too often, and I can express my love. I mean, it's relaxing. It's calming.
Yeah. And Shelby's getting into it now. I love the little banner she made for Easter yesterday. Yeah. That was cute.
Shelby just always, if we're at the camper, she wants to paint rocks.
Yeah.
And so anything that I'm doing, she studies and she tries to, and she's told me, I'm going to be better than you are, Nana, because I've had longer to practice and I've had you to teach me. And I'm like, well, hey, I'm awesome. You don't have to do my thing. You do your own.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
I like that she's so involved in everything.
She's very, she might act like she's intimidated by life, but she has her own thoughts and
Oh,
her
yeah.
own ideas.
Yeah, for sure. So what are your favorite things that you're making right now? Or what are your favorite things to paint?
Well, my favorite things to paint is just probably florals.
Yeah.
Dabbling in acrylics, and I don't like oils because I did that. I've traveled to take some classes with some of my friends just as a woman's getaway thing, but it's acrylics and it's watercolors. So I enjoy painting on the paper and the wood, and gotten into more painting ceramics, that kind of thing.
Have you had anyone ask you to make anything like outlandish? Have you had any
Mm-mm,
weird requests?
mm-mm, mm-mm. No, most people, when I say I can custom order stuff, they just want to buy. If I'm doing a craft show or a vending event, they just take something out of my booth. I've
Yeah.
had very few people ask for something special. I did learn something the other day. Somebody wanted my hydrangea ceramic coasters, and they wanted it shipped, and I'm like, why would you're here, why would you want me to ship it to
Yeah.
you? Well, they were going to ship it to their mother-in-law for a Mother's Day present.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Where's it going? It was going to Connecticut. And so the item was just frugal, and she said, well, how much you want had to shipping? And I said, oh, I'll just put a couple of dollars. I went to ship at UPS, and it was $17 to ship. So you learn as you go.
Yeah.
We have bumps in the road.
Yeah, I know the name, it'll come to me. But someone I know that does shipping like that, they go and they have like a little like breakdown of the weights and how much that package will be. So
Oh
she just
well,
adds
if I
that
if I
on.
do it anymore, I
Yeah,
will. I
yeah,
just, I should have said, here, you take it and you pay
yeah.
for your own shipping.
Yeah, which I've learned like all the percentages on my fees and stuff. So if I take a square payment, I always add that fee back on because they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
pay it. It's not coming out of my pay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I've had to learn a lot of things,
Well,
especially this
and
past
you
year.
hate to think that you're dumb or naive, but that's just part of growth. And
Yeah,
so if we can always learn and if we keep making the same mistakes, then that's what's wrong.
yeah, yeah. And you're gonna always learn stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So weddings. Let's talk about your bouquets. I feel like that's what everybody's gonna really like. You've done two or
Two.
three
I've
for me.
done two,
Yeah.
and then I've done the replication of the.
Yeah, the welcome sign.
Well, the welcome sign, or what she was going to do
Yeah.
as a guest registry, which anytime I explained that at the events, they were like, oh, that's an awesome idea. But I really kind of surprised myself when I could look at something realistic, a picture, and replicate it.
Oh yeah.
Because I have not had any of that training. When I went to college, it was for accounting. So accounting is very structured and very task on. Well, that's kind of how I paint. I want to be, I'm not abstract. I want to be very realistic. So I think when I did the first one with you, the bouquet was brought to me. And of course, it has to go in the refrigerator, which is not, I don't have a commercial refrigerator. So that's a little hiccup. So it's nice to see the fresh flowers, but then as I realized the second bouquet, I did equally as good as just pictures.
Yeah.
So, and the sooner the pictures can be taken of that bouquet, the fresher it looks for me to look at. Just different layers. And then I think some of the clients, as hard as I might be on myself, they don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't see it like I see it. I want something realistic, and they're wanting something as a treasure from the moment or from their event. And so, I think what I need to do is just take some shots very fast, very soon at different angles, send them to me. I will do on a canvas, and the flat canvases will work better because they will frame nicer. And I just enjoy it. It's just creating something that I hope that they can treasure for years to come. Whereas the real bouquet would have not lasted.
Yeah. So after their wedding, they just need to send you a picture, And then how long?
Or several pictures, several
yeah.
pictures at different angles. And then let me know if they want it to be held handheld or if they wanted it to be tilted, because that's another view of the fullness sometimes that can be more realistic than the upright. So that would be the things I would say. What's the size of your canvas that you want? What's the how realistic do you want your floral bouquet to be? And then at angles. And if you have a preference on your background, otherwise, I'm going to pick something that is kind of a blended color with something that's going to make it pop off of the canvas itself.
You did that to the last one. I like the little like purplish background with those flowers. Looked really good. Which both bouquets we brought you are mainly white too. So I think for them to turn out as good, and I'm going to include the little pictures up here of the bouquets. But I think and really
everybody's wanted the gilded frames, the gold ones. So you have to have, if you got the white bouquet, you have to have something with a little pop of color. So and I have bought the last two frames. So if I'm going to get the frame, then I'm going to do the canvas that I think it looks the best in that frame itself. So
I like them. I think they turn out good. And everyone that I've sent pictures to, I mean, they automatically love it. But I think the painting is just more special than preservation in my perspective, and the price difference. I mean, what's your price range for paintings for like a standard bouquet painting?
I think we've started out and of course you have to add on the frame if I purchase the frame. If you have your own frame, and I can work from that, especially if it's something that's a special thing for you, but the least I've done, I think the first one I did was maybe $85. And then I've added the frame to the cost of that, and I've just been picking them up like at Hobby Lobby, so they run around $20 or $30, but with inflation everything goes up. So I think I went up to $125 with the last one, and the frame was additional, but maybe she had a larger canvas too.
But preservation can start around $400, so that's a massive price difference, and most people can't afford preservation. So it's nice that you can do that, and you can still paint and preserve since you only want a picture, so you really don't have to give it up. This is another option to have.
And I think the picture, whether it's privately in your bedroom or in an arrangement of other things in your living room wall that brings accent to your event, or maybe like the watercolors. I've started doing the watercolors. I ran across that where it was the bride herself, and then mom was a watercolor in a gown beside her of her own era, her own age, and then the grandmother on the other side. So that made it a little cute. So to like put two or three things like that together that were special, and make a wall mural. But
oh yeah, I have that on here, the little generational. I like that a lot. The grandma, mom, daughter in the wedding dresses, and I feel like that would really, people would like that and eat it up once they see it more. So I'm going to include that in here too, and hopefully that gets a little push to this. But like, I mean, even the flower shops around here, I feel like if you just went in and told them like, hey, I specialize in painting bouquets, can I keep some cards up here and like a little pamphlet of what all you've made and offer, then they would love that. And you don't see your mom and your grandma in the wedding dress, so it's nice to have those pictures, which my mom hasn't gotten married, but my grandma did. So I would like to have me in my dress with her in her dress. I think that would be special to have those things.
Yeah, and then I think typically if it's not necessarily a wedding dress, I mean, even I can do if that generation is there for the wedding, take pictures of that. It can be the bride, the mother of the bride, and the grandmother of the bride, or both mothers of the bride and son and groom, just anything like that. And then I've had several people like the idea of the family with the dogs or whatever. So I am going to broaden that watercolor.
Have you tried or thought about playing with live painting?
The pressure, I just don't know. And then I think that's got to be expensive. If you're at a wedding or an event and you're trying to take pictures of 25, 30 guests, then you have to have your own little corner of privacy or uninterruptedness that you can sit there and turn out. Now, if there was a couple of us, or I had another friend that could watercolor and do that, or even sketch out and me do the watercoloring, that might be something I'll look at. But then again, that's kind of tying up my time. And reason I got into this is to spend more time with my husband. So the wonderfulness about painting at home is because my little studio is in my home. And so I'm there for his needs. I'm there for my great grandson because when I quit childcare, they needed somebody to take care of him. And he's a blessing. He's somebody I want to spend time with. And so I only get to paint during his nap time. So it's not like I want to get to the point that I want the pressure that it's become now a job, because I don't have to have that job. I want to keep it as a pleasure, but then my needs of my family come first in priority over this.
Yeah. But that's good. It's good that you are open about that too, and you don't want to stretch yourself too thin.
Yeah.
Because I stretch myself very thin, and I need to stop.
Well, and I think sometimes, maybe when we're younger, or even some people who have such need to succeed, and I feel like I've already succeeded in a lot of areas. I maybe not accomplished everything I wanted in my life, but I'm happy with who I am. Then something starts decaying, whether it's your walk with the Lord, or your time with your family, or your projects, your art, whatever, your home. Something starts. You can't split yourself that many different ways. So
it's good to find your main focus for sure. So what do you like most out of like the wedding side of things? The bouquets, you've started doing vow books, you can do the welcome signs, you can do anything really.
Well, the welcome signs, I did a big entrance, a big, I can't remember how big it was. It was probably a 5 by 6 sign for them. They had an outdoor wedding, and so she wanted something that was their name and their date and stuff on it, an entrance sign. So I did that, and then I also came up with some things that could be given as gifts for the wedding party.
You did the hangers.
I did a hanger. I did a little jewelry case that could be given as, bridesmaids' gifts, and painted flowers on the outside of it, and then it could be personalized with their name. I did some acrylic panels that were just, you can use them in any way at the registry or at the food area, if you want hand painted stuff, and sometimes that could just be too pricey. But
some people can really just send you a screenshot of what they want and you can make it. Yeah. Super simple, super versatile. Love it. Okay, so we've already talked about what a normal day looks for you. You're painting and hanging out with Jacob.
Yep.
Yep.
And hang out with him and chase him around.
Yeah. Yep. He's a lot. He keeps you busy. So do you think you don't think this will ever be a full-time business? You're going to keep it more of like a little side hobby?
Well, at my age, I don't want to work. I've worked 60-hour weeks. So no, I don't want to do that anymore. But I always want to, and of course I do that. I go to bed thinking, I wake up in the morning thinking, if I'm out at the camper walking, I just look at things and I see the artisticness in whatever I'm at. So even when we've taken the pontoon out on the water, I've taken my watercolors just to sketch something, but it's for my own enjoyment. Yeah. So, but right now it is, I'm wanting to make some money just to feel that I'm contributing back to the family, and then see that other people see the art that I do and can put it in their home as a piece of a decor that they can enjoy, And
everybody enjoys it a whole lot, especially the shows and stuff. I always like seeing everything laid out at your shows.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to change and add to and evolve to anything that I can do better.
Yeah. I think you're doing really good right now. You figured out a lot in this past year. I think you've definitely gotten more out there. You started pushing stuff a lot harder.
Yeah.
It's doing good. I hope you book a bunch of weddings. I know the girl from my wedding last week was supposed to reach out to you, but they're on their honeymoon, so I figured, and I told her to send you a picture, so I figured she'll text you when they get back in town.
Well, again, when you're there's so much hype going into getting prepared for the wedding, and then when the day happens, your brain needs to focus on that, because if your brain is focusing on all the other things that could be happening or might be happening, then it's not about you and him. It's about, it's more stressful, and it should be a memorial, memorable event that it's just about the two of you and family.
Coordinator.
Yeah. Well, true. True.
You don't have to focus on anything. Okay, so do you want to tell everybody how to find you on Facebook? What your page is, or how do people get in contact with you if they want to book?
Well, again, I'm not real electronic savvy, so I've had to lean on my granddaughter-in-law to be, and my granddaughter to kind of work things. We've created a little web page, and it needs to be updated and improved. But I'm Brushstrokes by Nancy, that you can just go to, and I'm trying to do more little lives with video and me during the painting time, and then snapshots. You'll find those of my events, and on just Facebook I try to give people heads up when I'm at a show where they can contact me and find my product if they're interested. And I would just like to do more and more stuff for people.
Yeah, and you can always reach out to me. I can put you in contact very simply. I can drop it off for you. I can pick it up for you. Done that for everyone that I've done for you so far. My brain went blank. I was going to say something else.
And well, the timeline on, especially if I do bouquets, it's like, I know you're off on your honeymoon doing your thing unless you've had to postpone it. So the timeline for me is I'd like to have, of course, as the season gets busier with holidays and fall approach, and that's a busier time for me as far as my craft shows. I expect like a 3-week delay on the delivery of the painting itself.
So for welcome signs, vow books, all that stuff, how early do people need to, get that info to you so you can have it done by their wedding?
Well, I would say, I would like to have a couple of months, 6 weeks at the, 4 was getting kind of pushing me. So, because if there's something I know with the vow books, we've kind of knocked around that idea, and I've not been really necessarily proud of what I've reached out for. So I'd like to be a little bit more creative. So that takes a little time to test something that you have in your mind that you would like to develop and make it unique and special, not like everybody else has, So 8 to 6 weeks would be ideal.
Yeah. I think that's very fair. That's what most people want. I mean, you have to book a photographer 6 months before your wedding. So that's very fair on time, I think. All right. I think that's all I've got, unless you just want to add anything in to make sure information.
No, I appreciate the opportunity to come here and share, and of course, anytime I get to spend time with you, it makes it special as far as knowing that Noah's someplace that he wants to be, and what y'all's life going forward. But no, I think I'm good.
Yeah, you'll be painting my bouquet in a couple months. I'm excited. It might not be colorful. It won't be white. It's gonna have all the colors in it.